Ketchum.
Hey guys, PokeDan here. As you already know by now, Ash Ketchum and the Pokemon anime are hot topics on this channel. In the past, I've talked about all things related to Ash, including his best Pokemon. However, one topic that I haven't covered when it comes to Ash and his Pokemon is which of them are some of the most underrated. Because let's be honest, some of Ash's more well-known Pokemon did take the spotlight away from others. Also, for this video, I won't be tackling the subject alone because I'm joined by a friend of mine.
Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Monkiez and I'm here to help Dan on this video. Like Dan said, we'll be talking about some of the Pokemon of Ash's that we consider to be underrated. Also, if you guys didn't know already, this is just part 1 of mine and Dan's collab, and part 2 can be found over on my channel, so once you're done here, be sure to check that out.
Of course guys, with tackling a subject like this, everyone is bound to have a different opinion. So if you think a different Pokemon should have made this list, be sure to let us know down in the comment section. But with all that being said, let's get started with the video. Let's start the list off with a Pokemon from arguably one of Ash's best teams, his Kalos team. And the Pokemon I'm talking about is Noivern. Noivern was obtained as an egg in the episode A Not So Flying Start. And in this same episode, it also hatched. Despite Noibat's lack of airtime, it took this Pokemon just 34 episodes to evolve into Noivern, a Pokemon that is considered to be quite a late evolution. In battles, Noivern wasn't exactly the best as it lost quite frequently, and for that, most people consider this to be Ash's weakest Kalos Pokemon. However, when you take into account that Ash had Pokemon like his Greninja and Goodra on his Kalos team, Pokemon that are really powerful, of course it's understandable that not all of Ash's Kalos Pokemon were going to be this strong. And we certainly saw this in Noivern. Also, another reason why we say Noivern is underrated is because it was overshadowed by a lot of the Pokemon in the XYZ series. And we feel that this Pokemon should have had more airtime to show off its true potential.
Our 9th slot on the list goes to one of my personal favorite Pokemon owned by Ash, Muk. Ash caught Muk in the episode Sparks Fly for Magnemite. Ash and his friends are traveling through Gringy City, a city going through a power outage, led by a group of Grimer and their boss Muk. Ash was able to defeat the Muk in battle and eventually captured it, making him the 9th Pokemon Ash had caught. He was then immediately sent to Professor Oak's lab due to his horrible stench. During the Indigo Plateau was one of the few times he was used in battle. In the 4th round of the tournament as his last Pokemon, Ash used Muk to completely obliterate a Bellsprout. I guess you could call that overkill. He then returned to Oak and made his Johto League debut in a battle against Blastoise, where he lost unfortunately. Muk is underrated, but not as much as some of the other Pokemon on this list, but he was very strong. Muk wasn't given enough screen time to show his full potential, which is what makes him underrated in battle, due to the fact that he performed very well against Bellsprout and Blastoise. Fortunately, Muk did manage to make a couple of appearances since then, but of course he wasn't in battle.
Another one of Ash's most underrated Pokemon is also one of his strongest. It's his Heracross. Heracross was one Pokemon that Ash didn't always use in the anime. However, when it was called upon in battle, it always showed off just how strong it was. Despite not being used a lot on Ash's anime teams, Heracross was still full of personality. It was a funny Pokemon, and one of the best running gags in the Pokemon anime was when Heracross would always suck on the bulb on Bulbasaur's back. When I was younger, Heracross was a Pokemon that I always enjoyed seeing on the TV, and I think that it's a massive shame that Ash didn't use this Pokemon more, as it could have been one of his most recognizable Pokemon. Like I've already said, Heracross was one of Ash's strongest Pokemon, and in Gen 6, it also gained a Mega Evolution. And I can't speak for you guys, but having Ash's Heracross return to Mega Evolve would have been amazing to see. If you ask me, it's just one big missed opportunity.
Our Our number 7 slot on the list goes to Boldore. Much like a lot of Ash's Unova team, many of the Pokemon are not very memorable. Maybe it was because of the general dislike for Silent and Iris, or maybe it was because of how soft Ash was. But one of the Pokemon I feel should be remembered and is very underrated is Boldore. Boldore was introduced as a Roggenrola and Gotta Catch a Roggenrola. He spent around 27 episodes as one, which is a pretty long time for one of Ash's Pokemon. He evolved in the middle of the Driftvale City gym battle, and unfortunately never made it to a fully evolved Gigalith. Boldore only took part in 3 battles, winning 1 and losing 2. However, his strength was shown in all 3. His losses were both extremely close battles, and his win was against a Reuniclus, and that allowed Ash to advance to the Pokemon World Tournament Junior Cup semifinals. I feel like had he been given more screen time and maybe been evolved into a Gigalith, he would have done way better and been way more appreciated as one of Ash's Pokemon.
Making it at the number 6 spot on this list, we have one of Ash's early bird Pokemon, and it is Unpheasant. Okay, hold up. So personally, I'm not a fan of Unpheasant as a whole, but both Monkiez and I decided that hatred aside, this Pokemon is pretty underrated. Out of all of the bird Pokemon Ash has owned throughout the anime, Unpheasant is probably the one he used the least. And there's a good reason for that. In the Unova anime, Ash caught more than the usual 6 Pokemon. And because of this, his team often rotated, and that meant that Unpheasant, for a lot of its time in the anime, was actually at the professor's lab. Because of this, obviously Ash didn't use the Pokemon as much as his previous flying types. So maybe if Unpheasant had a bit more time to shine, it would have been a more likable character. Like I said, even though I'm not personally a fan of this Pokemon, I understand why people are. And I get that this thing is pretty underrated. But anyway guys, with that being said, that pretty much wraps things up for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, I want to give a huge thanks to Monkiez for joining me in this video.
Thanks for having me, man. Also guys, remember that this is the first part of our collab, and part 2 is available over on my channel. So if you like, feel free to go check that out.
Also guys, if we didn't mention a Pokemon in this video that you wanted to be here, then be sure to let us know in the comment section. But with all that being said, for now, I've been PokeDan, you've been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time.